Now this is Hollywood Unlocked. What up, everybody? It's Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored. I'm Jason Lee at home.
I'm Melissa Ford, aka the Curve Queen, at home.
Yeah, it's DJ Damage, and guess what? I'm at home.
So hopefully you're watching us on YouTube, and if you are, you're realizing that this cheaply produced show that has come to you for the last 4 years has better, higher quality production than some of the favorites you're watching on the morning shows because they've been
Cringy.
struggling.
It's been
Yeah,
cringy.
no, I agree with you, Jason. I've been watching Ellen, the giant that Ellen is, and Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel, and it's just amazing to see how many of these personalities have come to rely on that machine and that that massive production level to kind of make them great. Because at home they're like snooze fest.
Now there was one comment that I saw that almost drove me off the edge, and it was
What
a
happened?
person, can't remember who, but they said Jason Lee without all of his mega editing has no personality and is boring. I was like,
But wait, what mega editing?
well, the problematic series, which by the way is one of my proudest inventions.
It is good.
It has great editing, but this show we don't have a lot of editing.
Not a lot of edits.
It's just whatever. But I guess they're saying in terms of being able to hold my own talk show that if I have to rely on my personality, I won't make it.
Are you really laughing about that?
I would not be able to agree with that one.
I laugh at it.
Personality in droves, Jason.
Listen, I laugh at it because it's just, people that are miserable are just going to be miserable. And I will say, shout out to all of our supporters who watched the show. I did go back and read the comments last show. I know that, you guys found me dropping nuts on the floor and Melissa drinking wine and damn it, trying to hold the show together. Very entertaining. We are just trying to make you laugh for at least an hour of your day. And we're trying to find better ways of staying in touch with all of you. So we've been talking about an after show.
Yeah.
And so the details are not going to be shared right now, but I'll give you the first opportunity to get more information. You can text show, the word show, text it to 1-310-388-6463. I don't know why I just told you the number because we have an infinite scroll at the bottom of this video. Damn.
I'm going to say, how are we going to remember this long number? But yeah, definitely check it out right here. The after show is coming.
It's right here. Okay. So Melissa, you're excited about today's guest.
I am. We've got Tituss Burgess on. Oh my God, he's been on Broadway. He's been, where I really got to know who he was this show called Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and it comes on Netflix, and he's hysterical. Literally has me with tears in my eyes, hysterical. He's somebody that has personality. He's amazing. Yeah, I like him.
Well, I know, I'm not as caught up on the arts. I don't go to too many Broadway plays. But, he can throw shade probably better than me because I came to know him from when he was on Andy Cohen's show, Watch What Happens Live. And Andy tried him and he let Andy have it on his own show. So,
oh, yeah, he can throw the shade. But he's also an activist, like an LGBTQ activist. So, you guys will, be able to share a little, share
Activism?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I had a call. Yes. Speaking of activism, on one of our last shows, I had talked about a friend of mine who was in prison in Kansas, who was incarcerated for his first time. He received 8 years for 1 pound of marijuana. I've since then been calling back up there to the prison, but I've had some calls with Yandy and Tamika Mallory, and then I had a call with Van Jones's organization Reform. Him and Meek Mill have the organization Reform. So we had a productive call this week, and we're just building a coalition of people who can help address this issue. But I'm trying to find ways of becoming a part of a bigger conversation because this person is one person to me, but there are millions of people in this country that are, incarcerated either for things that they didn't do or have sentences that don't match up with the crime. So, I'm going to lend my voice and my platforms to it and do what I could do. But I just want to shout them out real quick because they did reach out to me when they saw my video, and I appreciate that. But as far as LGBT stuff, I want to know from Tituss, what opportunities I can get involved with helping the young kids that are bullied for being gay. We've talked a lot about Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union's daughter here on the show. So,
no, seriously.
Other than that, what have you guys been up to?
I've been fasting.
Wow.
How is that going?
It's over. I went on a 72-hour water and tea fast.
That's good. How did it make you
Yeah.
feel?
First day was fine. I walked about 4 miles and I rode my bike for about 3 miles. And then the second day, I walked 5 miles. Second day was a little bit more challenging. Third day, I couldn't get out of bed until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then when I did, I almost passed out.
Yeah, because I feel like you go through like a sugar detox too when you do those fasts, and that's
You
the
go
real
through a
hard part.
fucking everything detox. Let me tell you something. I had a grape sitting in a fucking ashtray. That shit looked good. Okay, on the third fucking day, I was literally dying, but I came to the point of which I felt like I wasn't exercising enough discipline. You know, especially when it came to my eating habits. I think all of us can kind of agree that we've made one too many trips to the fridge and maybe drank a little bit too much alcohol.
I'm not admitting that publicly.
Okay, well, I definitely am. I definitely am. I felt like I was getting a little too fluffy, and it was just, it wasn't sitting right with me. So I was like, I'm an extremist. I'm a Scorpio. So either we're like eating everything in the house, or we're starving ourselves and chaining ourselves to, like, I don't know, machinery or something. So I did this 3-day fast just to see if I could power through. And I actually made it. I made it the full 72 hours. And then how I broke my fast, I had made some foods that were good for the fast, and I had cabbage soup. Yum.
That sounds disgusting.
It's fucking awful.
Cabbage soup, yeah.
It's awful, but it's the easiest.
Soup.
It's the easiest. It's an easy transitional kind of food for the next 4 days while I'm out of the, getting out of the fast.
Next time, like, include me and Jason in these fasts so we could all do it together and talk about how
hell no, Jason would never do it.
Well, hold on.
Jason, she underestimating you.
I am intermittent fasted every day now from 8 p.m. to noon. That is my new thing. And I'm going to tell you why I'm deciding to do that.
Why?
I had to get rid of the whole diet thing and let me try to do this and that because y'all already know that shit ain't never worked. Okay. But I had talked about the journal that I was doing, the planner that I was doing. I bought this for my team and none of us used it. So I opened it up.
Whoever hasn't used one, send it to me, please.
They already have them. I don't know where they are. But mine, I dusted mine off. I looked into it this past week because I felt like I had lost discipline. Although now that I'm home and I don't order out as much, although the doorbell will be ringing any minute with a delivery. I'm ordering something really healthy, but I've been cooking my own food. Now that I've started my planner, and as you can see, I've been writing, these are my scores, and I've been writing in my planner. I am holding myself accountable.
Come on, Jason.
To different things. I've walked 3 miles every day on my treadmill. I have taken all my vitamins. I've drank all my water and teas. I did my COVID-19 test, which, by the way, the results come out. Well, they'll be out already. I ain't got it, ain't had it, don't want it. So yeah, I think I'm learning discipline. I'm gonna read more, adding reading. I've been playing the piano. I mean, I'm coming out of this shit like Mozart.
He did. He FaceTimed me, and he was in front of a piano, and I was like, "Did you fucking buy that on Amazon?" You know what? I'm going shopping at your house when this is over because you ain't gonna fucking use any of the shit you've been buying. I'm first in line for the treadmill. I'm just saying. And Damage, if you want to do a fast, let's do a grape and lemon fast. Okay, we could do that for like 7 days.
Damn, just grapes and lemon?
It gets better. Hold on.
I'm mad that Jason has a piano. I want to see Jason in front of the
wait.
piano.
He can flip a switch and it sounds like an organ.
I'm not going to tell you what these are, but my brother called me and said, I'm going to help you clean out your gut. And I was like, hold on a minute. I ain't never had no man.
That sounds, yeah.
I ain't never had no man tell me they going to help clean my gut out. That's shit that and then my brother on top of that, I was like, my nigga, we're going to have to use different words. But anyway, so I got all of this intestinal cleanse stuff to do all the, you know how we have worms and what do you have it?
It's a parasitic cleansing kit. I know. Tell him to send me one, please.
No, he doesn't have a kit. And stop asking us to send you everything. Go to Amazon. Do you have an Amazon account?
I do have an Amazon account. I'm poor right now, okay? Like the rest of the fucking world, okay? I'm not.
So I bought all these.
Send it my way.
I bought all of these. So it's a 2-week detox where you have to eat a lot of greens and juicing and all that. And with these pills, but you can't really go nowhere because all these parasites and all of your stuff in your intestine comes out. And so it helps you to absorb all the minerals. You know, I did the CMOS and I've been trying to, because losing weight and all of that can't happen until you clean out your gut so you can process everything.
That's true.
All right. Well, enough about my gut. So Damage, what are you working on?
Well, unlike you guys, I haven't been playing the piano or doing any cool fasting. But no. Seriously, y'all know I've been juicing for the past 6 months, so I've been on my little sea moss. Yeah, y'all been see. I come into the studio with my juice.
All
Y'all
right,
don't pay
now,
Okay,
me no mind.
you
we
have,
had
you
a
Y'all
have.
we,
don't pay me any mind. I'm glad everybody in the world can see this. Y'all don't
no,
pay
it's
me.
not. It's not that. It's that we used to have a host who said that they were gaining weight for a film, and it was like every week this person was gaining weight, and it was for a film. But yeah, I ain't seen it on Amazon or whatever. But I'm glad that you're doing it. Stay
No,
committed.
I've been doing it for a while. I want to catch up with y'all. Can we do a bike ride? Melissa got a bike. Jason, I know you can find a bike in there. Can we go out? We need to do something as a
Let's do a bike
team.
ride.
I'm
Let's do
gonna
it.
have parasites coming out my ass. I'm not riding a bike right now.
Thank you for that visual, Jason. I
Get these
appreciate
worms
that.
out. Let me get in touch with my intestines a little better, and then because my intestines they had a lot of activity. I mean, well, one way it has. It ain't
That
got the
that's
so,
something new.
one way sign on my intestines. All right,
This is now I have the worst visual in
Yeah,
life
I'm not trying
inside
to
my head
visualize
I
right
this.
mean, I
now.
can send you a picture what comes
No,
out.
please don't. Please,
Okay,
God, no. Please, God, no.
all right.
My heart. My heart.
I have a new infatuation with feces though. I don't know what it
No,
is. Not
okay,
wait,
no.
listen, not putting it on a person or myself, but like looking at it to see how healthy
No,
it
Jason,
looks.
I'm
Jason,
going to stop you right
no,
there.
no,
No, no, we're
I
not
think
having
no.
the fuck.
everybody should look at their feces to know how healthy their bowel movements are.
Okay, I'm gonna give somebody something to look at. Next week, I'm doing a free webinar, man, for all everybody. I'm trying to change the subject. It's called Maximize the Influence. That's happening next Friday, May 1st. Don't be staring at your feces.
No,
Jason,
fuck it.
can
You
you
know what? I'm down with the fuck shit. Jason, what has your poop told you?
no.
I want
I,
to know. What has your poop told you?
I'll tell you, my poop has told me that I'm full of shit.
I fucking knew it. Yup.
All
It
right,
ain't never lied.
enough of this fuck shit. Titus is here.
All right, everybody. We have joining us Emmy and SAG nominated actor Tituss Burgess. I am a huge fan. We are so
hey.
glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Okay, so how are you spending your time quarantining? That's like the first question that we ask all of our guests. You know, we've been
What?
talking about the various things that we're getting into. Jason's buying every single thing that's available on fucking Amazon right now.
Exactly.
So, what are you getting into during quarantine? How have you been keeping yourself sane?
I wake up and then I take a nap.
That nap life.
Yes. And then I go to the kitchen, back to the couch, maybe go to the piano, and I repeat and stir. That's about it.
Like a martini.
Yes, bitch. Yes.
You know what? You know what's so crazy? Well, besides the fact that you are one of the very few people that has worked for a long time, because some people they come out, they do their thing, and then they go away. You're well accomplished on Broadway and television and so forth. But nobody, I don't think we've had anybody on this show that reads better than I do.
Mm.
I mean, you give a good reading because I can say with all your accomplishments and awards, I won't ever forget you on Watch What Happens Live.
Thank you.
You became my hero that day. I said, well, who the fuck, what's happening? What's going on?
But wait, what happened?
I'm gonna let you tell it. I'm not rehashing this.
Okay, Titus was in a movie with Eddie Murphy,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't just do a job; he built a relationship. And in
Mm-hmm.
this city, we all know relationships change depending on what rooms you're in. Maybe you're cool, but you get to a meeting, everybody else ain't cool, so now you're not cool. Well, Titus went on Andy's show, and Andy tried it and did a little slick remark, and Titus read him for filth, and then went on the Wendy show to explain why he read him for filth a little bit. Not really. Wendy tried to drag it out of him, but it just for me it was the good reading, but it was also how you demonstrated loyalty that stood out for me, which was very rare from what I see from people these
I
days.
I won't. I will speak to why I spoke up for spoke up for Eddie. Um, I don't know him in the way that Andy was presenting him. I've heard of things that happened in the past, but Eddie was wonderful and creative and collaborative and generous, and put me in my first major motion picture. What world did they think I was going to say anything but wonderful things about him? And I didn't have to lie because he's wonderful. So I just thought, and also we were celebrating a legend who was, I hate the word comeback, but, who decided to reemerge and grace us with his presence. And I, it deserved a certain fanfare and a proper pomp and circumstance. And I was not going to dethrone that.
Do you feel like that's a trend today where people are trying to bring down our icons? Do you feel like that's like a trend that you see happening lately?
I think the world is, by and large, very disgruntled. I think the presence of social media has made everyone feel famous. It has made everyone feel like they have their own court.
Mm-hmm.
They're the judge, they're the plaintiff, they're the juror, everything. And it gives this sort of false sense of
Authority?
yes, yes, exactly. And I think people don't get full stories and don't consider what someone was perhaps going through, or there are many factors that play into to why people behave the way that they behave. But more importantly, if an icon or a legend or someone is going through a time, that is a time to extend grace and lift them up. And that is when they are in trouble and they need our support. This whole thing about cancel culture, I'm not so on board with that. I think you don't just throw out a body of work. The work is the work, and the person is the person. You don't have to like the person, but you can still celebrate all the good that they did.
What's up, everybody? We've got another Hollywood hookup for you. Okay, so I imagine that all of you have some time on your hands, just like I do.
I do too.
So I've had to find some new and creative ways of biding my time. And guess what I found?
What you
I
got?
went to the Apple App Store and I found this new game. It's called Best Fiends.
Now I heard about this. Tell me more.
Yes. So it's not Best Friends. I'm not making an error here. It's called Best Fiends. It's really, really cute. So it's got these little monsters in it and stuff like that. But it's a really, really dope game. It's very casual for newbies like me who are getting involved in the online gaming world.
Okay.
It already has like 100 million downloads and it's got tons of 5-star reviews. So it's a lot of fun.
So wait, I heard about this. It's a puzzle game, right?
Yeah, it's a puzzle game. But the best part about it is every single month there's new updates, creative ways to play the game that are incorporated in it. So it keeps the challenge going. And like I said, I personally love it. It's my new favorite thing to do when I'm sitting in front of the TV and letting it watch me because I've watched everything on Netflix.
Have you been playing it with like your other friends or something? Because you haven't played it with me yet.
Okay, well, now's our opportunity. Okay, we can play it together. And then the longer that you stay on, the more characters that you can accumulate. Like, it's a lot of fun. And the best part is, like I said, every single month they change up the theme. So you never get bored with this. And here's also the best part: you don't have to use your data plan in order to use it. All you got to use is your Wi Fi.
Hello. I have a lot of friends that play Best Fiends, and they say they get more competitive with their friends. It changes the way they look at things. Like it's really opened up their mind as far as cracking down puzzles and things. So I heard Best Fiends is dope. I can't wait to play with you, Melissa, and just hope you know I'm very competitive. So I'm playing to
Yeah,
beat
you
you.
are. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. But I'm gonna kick your butt. Let me tell you that. So what we want you guys to do is we want you guys to go to your Apple App Store, or if you have an Android, go to Google Play and download Best Fiends. Okay,
Yes.
it is like the most awesome, cool game. You're gonna be totally addicted, but in the best possible way. And this is a great way to like keep your brain stimulated because watching TV, it's just after a while, it's not good for you. So
No.
challenge your mind and stimulate your brain by using Best Fiends. Download it now on the Apple App Store or on Google Play.
And that was your Hollywood hookup.
You talk about social media, and nowadays anybody besides being the judge, jury, plaintiff, defendant, and the court circus, right? There's also people that are making careers out of being active on Instagram. That's great that you have all that visibility, but we can't forget the contributions of our legends. Like I remember Eddie Murphy Raw. I sat in the house as a kid saying all those words I wasn't supposed to say, Delirious, and all the movies, when you put all of his work together, Saturday Night Live, being able to look like us on a show like that and push the envelope, I mean, his contributions warrant respect. I wonder, piggybacking off what Damage says, what do you think about how the industry, not the industry, people treat our black icons, specifically like a Whitney Houston when she died? I remember how they treated her. What do you think?
That is part of why I got so terse on Watch What Happens Live, because uh, we don't do that. No one's dragging. What's the guy who plays Iron Man?
Oh,
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
No
and
one's bringing up his sordid
hit
past about the drugs and the alcohol and the constant rehab visits, etc.
Charlie,
Everyone's
Charlie,
focusing on the
Charlie,
now.
Charlie Sheen, who caught HIV, sleeping with hookers and prostitutes and doing all types of things.
exactly. So I just kind of feel like, it just seems so. We get thrown, to the lions way too easily, and I was not here for it. I was just like, how dare you? But look, Andy and I have since spoken through direct message. When he caught coronavirus, I felt bad for him, and I was like, look, brother, praying for you, and that was that. I have no ill will towards him. He does his thing, but I am not. I'm nobody's fool, and I don't hold my tongue very easily, and I'm not about bullshit, and you won't drag me into it. I'm not a member of the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
I live for it. I just want to say thank you for having the courage, and I'm gay too.
That
So
wasn't
being,
courage. That
huh?
was that didn't take courage.
I think it does though, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Um,
Because it doesn't. Well, first of all, when you're somebody like a you or me who doesn't have a problem with confrontation, who has a talent and won't allow people to minimize that or disrespect the people that they're close to, in some in some platforms, in some arenas, it does take a sense of courage to be who you are. I don't have any fear of doing what I do and saying what I say. And when I watched you step in and stand up, I didn't see an ounce of fear, but it was who you are. But doesn't that take courage?
No, I'm an only child. I've had myself to entertain and to answer to for years. I'm also a Pisces. I feel everything to the nth degree. Um, the problems that I encounter are other people having problems with people's individuality. But individuality is all that I have known, so I have nothing to compare it to. So no, that was not an act of courage on my part.
It was just
Mm.
you.
It was just me.
It was just you. I'm a Scorpio, so I feel the Pisces energy.
You know what I
And I
mean?
and I get
Very much
along
a
with
thing.
Pisces. I don't know what it is. I fuck with Pisces, Leos, and Scorpios.
Yes,
Yes. Well,
Pisces,
that's us.
Pisces turn up, man. Pisces are crazy now.
Pisces can be a little.
They could be a
No,
little.
no.
They could be a little emotional, but that's just what our whole what our signs have in
If you're
common.
if you're a Gemini, stay away from me. I don't. I
I think
can't.
we can
I
all
won't.
agree with that. Stay away
I
from me
love
if you're a Gemini.
Geminis.
Oh
I love
Christ,
Geminis.
you're
That Jekyll and Hyde
insane.
spirit.
I don't understand it.
Everybody's like, no.
I don't
Wait,
understand.
wait. Can
Listen,
I ask?
I
Can I
want
ask
to
a
give
question?
context to what everybody was saying. The movie that we're discussing is
Yes, I apologize.
Dolomite is My Name. So that was your first major theatrical role, correct?
That's correct. And
Okay.
also another. Sorry, I didn't.
No, go ahead.
But the larger, more beautiful thing was Eddie was not only having a reemergence, but he was celebrating an icon that no one knew was an icon except industry people. So
Hmm.
there was a duality going on there, and
Hmm.
so that was, you wouldn't just be taking down Eddie Murphy. You would also be undermining Dolomite. It was just so much more than just. I'm not going to talk bad about Eddie Murphy. It was like, these are our legends, and it takes us so long to get things to come into fruition. So, a slip of the tongue can just bring this stuff tumbling down. So I wasn't.
I thought that it was a cheap attempt at clickbait, honestly. I mean, like to bring up, the jokes that Eddie Murphy made when he was doing Raw and Delirious. Like I think I was a kid when those stand-ups came out. You know what I'm saying? Like there is the process of evolution that everybody, goes through. And to not acknowledge that was just like, I don't know. It was a little tacky on his behalf at an attempt to bring up something that was just it was really, really antiquated.
Yeah.
And the fact that Eddie Murphy, not only is he an icon, he didn't go anywhere. He just quietly was making movies that made sense to him. Like, I'm a huge fan of one of the movies that I don't know anyone that's seen it. It's called Mr. Church, but I advise
Yeah, that's a great one.
everybody to watch
That was a
movie.
good one.
That movie was fantastic. And most people don't even know, but it came out in like 2016. So he has been working since this reemergence, but it's just, you have to be a true fan to really know that.
And you know what else? If there was going to be an additional apology or an acknowledgement of minced words in the past against the LGBTQ community, I was the living embodiment of the bridge. He had me in his movie, the gayest thing on the planet. You know what I mean? So, like, come on, guys.
Well, let me ask you. So, Dolomite, how it got some criticism though, right? I mean, when you look at a project like that, you have the original, and then you have this new body of work for Dolomite fans who I didn't follow Dolomite when I was a kid or younger, but so it was an introduction to me of Dolomite. But for some who had watched it before, some people were critical. What did you think of people's reception to it?
I didn't hear anything but praise. You're schooling me. What was the critique?
I mean, some people had said that. I mean, they were just, I think, comparing nuances, right? And I feel like it would be the same if you did.
It wasn't a remake of the
Yeah.
film. This was a biopic about the making of the film. So in order to compare that,
Would be unfair.
it would be unfair. That's not even
Yeah.
what we're doing. So once again, these people don't have the whole context of the story. What people give me? Lord.
I think what's dope about the film is, even though it's based on a biopic of something that happened in the past, it's so today. It's about doing it on your own, pulling yourself up by the bootstraps and making it happen, never giving up, being relentless. So when I watched the film, that's what I took from it. Me not even being a comedian, just the fact that this dude created his own budget, did everything on his own. When everybody was saying no, he said, fuck it, I'm going to do it my way. So absolutely. I thought the film was amazing.
Rudy Ray Moore is the American dream, if there ever was one.
That's a great way to put it. I think that
it's a powerful story.
But I also think it's important for people when they watch Black film to get more out of what we contribute to the culture or to movies. Is that we're not going to all show up as drug addicts and hookers and whatever else I think people want to put us in. So I think, to be able to see like films like this, even my favorite, Set It Off, that, you see 4 women that have their individual issues, but you see the stories behind why they make decisions that they do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
just face value. There's always a subtextual energy that's going on that brings forth certain decisions. So yes, I agree with you.
So let me ask you a question. So I had a conversation with Kevin Hart, switching gears really quick. I was very critical of him. I did a video that went viral. He called me. We had a conversation about it. In part, there was a conversation around him not being able to host the Oscars because of him doubling down on, or not really doubling down on, but not fully owning the comments that he made towards members of our community back on tweets years ago. Actually, what he did was, let me say it correctly. He had said that he would beat the gay out of his son or something like that, right? Anyway, he had made some disparaging comments and he wasn't able to host the Oscars. What did you take from that whole experience? If you know what I'm talking about.
Listen, the truth is I don't know all of the context. I remember hearing something about it, but I don't know Kevin Hart. I've never worked with Kevin Hart. He has built up a body of work, obviously, that is the force to be reckoned with. As for comments, you guys, if we all dug into Facebook and Friendster before we were all who we became, none of us will have jobs.
True.
None of us.
Facts.
Big facts.
So
if they dig mine out, we wouldn't be here doing this interview.
I wouldn't be here. So I'm not going to condemn that. Though that's a terrible thing to say and think and feel. But rather than hate him, I feel sorry for him if that is the way he feels, because
the way he felt, because that was like the tweet was like 10 years old. It was forever ago.
It was stand up that he had done the same thing as Eddie Murphy, just different time.
Sure, just we have to give humans room to evolve, and you can't sentence someone for something they've done in the past, especially since they have moved forward and try to walk a different way. Give them a chance to put their money where their mouths is, and if they repeat it, then we got problems. But everyone changes. The whole world just changed a month ago.
Facts.
Very true. Very true. I wanted to actually ask you if, the whole quarantine, shelter in place, stay at home situation has affected the Aretha Franklin biopic that you're a part of. You are playing, it's called Respect, and it's supposed to open in theaters December 25th. And you play James Cleveland, the Reverend Dr. James Cleveland, who was a gospel singer, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm wondering, like, first, is it, still on track to come out in movie theaters at that time? Were you guys finished filming? And then talk to us a little bit about what that was like. It was with Jennifer Hudson and Marlon Wayans, right?
Wayans, Forrest Whitaker,
Yes.
Heather,
Fire.
Big dogs in this film.
Mary J.
Yes.
Blige.
Come on.
The cast was just outstanding.
Mhm.
Jennifer Hudson is going to blow you guys' minds. This woman has shown a part of her skill set that I didn't know existed, and even in hindsight, I get a little sad because I boxed her in as just this singer. She's such a beautiful, thoughtful actress, and she turns in such a wonderfully tempered, measured performance, and it's so nuanced and it's just brilliant. And Forrest Whitaker is terrifying as the Reverend C.L. Franklin. He captures that man's essence so beautifully. As far as I know, it is still on track to come out in select theaters on Christmas Day. But who knows if we'll be ready to? I know I'm not ready to go sit in a movie theater next to nobody. So I don't know how that's gonna work out, but I hope so. It's a wonderful, wonderful production, and I grew up listening to James Cleveland, and when I was directing the choir back when I was home in Georgia, and shame on you, Georgia, for reopening the states.
I was about to ask you, what are your thoughts on Georgia? Because the governor and the mayor.
They had a chance to get it right. What's her name that had ran for governor out there?
Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams. Yeah.
Stacey Abrams. They had a chance to get it right. So now look at what you got.
Well, I don't live there anymore. But my family is there, and I told them, I was like, don't fall for this shit. This is targeted, and this whole Corona thing is targeting ethnic communities and the disenfranchised and poor communities. And the first thing I'm nervous that our people are going to do is start having church. And we can't do that. And it's just not time. We don't know enough about this virus, and we don't know enough about how it mutates or any of that stuff to be so,
to be social again.
To be social.
And not social distancing, et cetera, not adhering to the, the rules that we have been. Absolutely.
Yeah. But that aside, I hope we are able to open by then. But I guess everyone has to figure out a plan B now. I don't even know what the landscape of TV will look like. And filming where there's a couple. I was about to film this movie, and that got pushed. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
Okay,
I'm
well,
a job with radio.
Speaking of filming TV shows, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I was a fan since episode 1. Okay, if you guys have not seen this show, you have got to watch it. It is hysterical. It's got Jane Krasinski in it. I can't remember what Kimmy Schmidt's name, because that's what I call her now.
Ellie Kemper, Jane Krakowski, and Carol Kane. Tina Fey, obviously, is the creator. Her and Robert Carlock, and a whole slew of guest stars. That was the most charmed.
You really emerge as the star of that show. Honestly, everybody is wildly funny, but you had me in hysterics. Like, I really, really enjoy watching that show.
Well, thank you.
What did you think, like, when you first got the script and read the character you'd be playing, which is your name, Tituss?
Yeah. Well, so my manager texted me. She's like, "When's the last?" I was on 30 Rock for like 2 seasons. Pardon me. And so that was ended in like 2009. And I have to tell you this whole story. I'm just see if I can fast forward it. I was living in Hell's Kitchen on 47th Street between 8th and 9th. And the day that I ended my 30 Rock arc, I came home and I prayed. I was like, God, if you give me, a series regular and this pedigree of writers, I'll do this and this and this and this. Doesn't matter what I named. Cut to then I got evicted. Cut to 5 years later, I'm living in Harlem in a basement apartment. Get a text from my manager. She goes, Titus, when's the last time you spoke to Tina Fey? I was like, oh, like 5 years ago. It's not like we meet up every weekend and braid each other's hair. And and so she goes, well, either you're about to get a job or this is a cruel, cool joke. And she sent me the snapshot of the breakdown that said Titus, down on his luck actor, living in the basement apartment in Harlem, wants to be a Broadway star. Well, I wanted to be a Broadway star. I was living in a basement apartment in Harlem, and I did not have a job.
That's insane.
Cut to me getting the job. I was told the first day to show up to 52nd Street and 8th Avenue. And they said someone, or 9th Avenue, and they said someone will walk you to your trailer. You guys, my hand to God, my trailer was right outside the apartment where I prayed for the job. I could have literally.
No. I believe you.
Real.
I believe you, and I'm gonna tell you why I believe you. And this is why our camera guy is laughing, because this story, what people don't realize is that the power of prayer is real. It really is. And I feel like this is the same story that Oprah said when she got Color Purple. It's the same story. We had Nick Cannon here on the show. I asked him for wilding out. I went to Hawaii with a snack, prayed. I was like, nigga, give me the job. I got it. And the same with Jennifer Lewis. If you read her book, the same when she got Blackish, she was on vacation. She was ready to give up. She gave it to God and said the same thing. And I just think that people don't really understand the value of prayer and really manifesting what you want.
Yes.
So real.
Yes. And the thing about that prayer and manifestation, I believe there's also an element of removing your expectations of what the outcome is going to look like.
It's surrendering. It's just the surrendering of what you want and giving it to the
Absolutely. I better talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, as a activist in the LGBT community, I now have started to look for organizations that Hollywood Unlocked and our show and our platform can partner with. I've been very vocal about my support of Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union and how they're raising their daughter who's transitioning. What do you think about the criticism they've gotten, and what organizations do you support, or how are you active in the LGBT movement?
Well, first of all, I hate the word activist.
What word do you prefer? Advocate?
Yes, that's a wonderful human word, and it allows for you to fight for what's right and make mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So so there's that. I can't believe that there's criticism. Yes, I can. We still live in a very homophobic world, and my brothers have not been the most supportive of their brothers or sisters or trans sisters and brothers, and it has been a slow maturation process, and you factor in religion. There's all sorts of reasons that people are unable to open up and see how wonderfully, beautifully human and the same we all are. We're more alike than we are not. So I think it's so beautiful. I forget the young guy's, she's trans now, right?
Yes. She's 12.
So, but to know yourself that well at such an early age, and had they ignored it and had they suppressed it, it would have done irreparable damage to psychologically, and it could have had horrific ramifications. Us not being able to be ourselves, coming into the world the way heterosexual people are by and large, and then you add socioeconomic status, and you add color, you add all sorts of things. It just the suppression and the suffocation gets more and more and more extreme, and so to not allow that to be so wonderfully expressed at an early age would be detrimental. And they've set a wonderfully beautiful example, and I think they should stop entertaining these critics. just stop entertaining them altogether and focus on her and keep it moving.
So you've talked about Frank Ocean being an inspiration. I know when he came out with Bad Religion, I felt like he was telling my love story because that was literally the unrequited love, the experience I had had with my first boyfriend. Do you think that? Well, two questions. One, do you think the world is finally ready to start embracing more of us in it, in terms of being at the front of the arts, whether it's music or film or television? And two, do you think that they want specifically black gay men to be more of what the stereotypical gay man looks like in terms of over flamboyance, or with the whole, I don't do makeup, I don't wear heels. That's me. I know some people do, but I kind of feel like, and I have been vocal about believing that the industry, particularly mainstream media, wants to have a specific look of what that means to our community on covers of magazines or in stuff.
Well, honestly, Jason, the way you prepared that question plays right into what the mainstream media wants, which is for us to ask for permission. You said, what do they want, and are they ready for? Who gives a fuck what they're ready for, and who gives a fuck what they want? I
Right.
don't care. I don't care. And if you look at people like RuPaul, who, I mean, there it doesn't get more trailblazier than that,
Mm.
and all that he has done, not asking for permission. Don't take a no from someone who doesn't have the power to give you a yes. So I say, what Gabrielle and is it Wade are fostering.
Dwayne Wade,
Dwayne,
yeah.
thank you. What Dwayne are fostering in their daughter is going to give way for more trailblazing. I mean, knowing oneself that young, think of all the ways he's going or she's going to be able to express herself, and all the things that we will get creatively as a result. And it takes more output like that is going to force the world to, either the world will be ambushed into finally accepting the fullness of all of us, or they have to scoot over and get out of the way. It's one or the
Yeah.
other, but we're not going anywhere.
But I think it's more about the next generation in our future, because a lot of people are going to be stuck in their ways, and if they open themselves up and ready to evolve, good. If not, who cares? Because I feel like with her knowing who she is so young, and then having her peers, if they start accepting her, we're starting a new normal for the next generation. And I think that's what it's all about, creating the next generation that's going to be better, more accepting, and more loving. That's all we can really focus our energy on.
Yeah, and what is everyone so fucking afraid of? Like,
Well, no, I agree, and let me be clear. I'm not saying we asked for their permission whatsoever.
I
So if
know.
that if that came across as an
No,
invitation,
no.
because I give zero fucks. I'm gonna be gay.
He doesn't ask permission for shit.
I'm gonna be well. Well, we're not gonna talk about
Okay,
shit. Okay.
okay.
But
Now,
no, I mean, I do agree, like what you're saying in terms of supporting their daughter and being able to continue to push the conversation of equality, because we all live in the same planet together. And I look at, when people talk about civil rights or, women's rights or whatever, I feel like just the basic human right. We all got the right to live here. We all got the right to do what we want. We all got the right to believe what we want.
Yes,
Agreed.
I agree. I also think it's not to go back to politics, but like we have to vote out people who make it impossible for us um, to retain those rights, so that we have the opportunity to do all the things that we're talking about. So it's going to take the young people to do that, because it either has to die out or be voted out.
So if Joe Biden wins the presidency, maybe could be the vice president.
You don't
Well, we
want me in the House, honey.
that White House. Let me tell you something. That inauguration.
In a press conference, I'd be gonna cuss them folks out. I'd be impeached so fast. No,
I
I'm
would
being
give everything to hear it. It would be hilarious.
I would be your press secretary. Anything you need me
oh
to
my
say for you.
god, you would be hilarious. No one would get a word in. You would just be reading them for filth left and right.
I was talking to Melissa in preparation for this interview. She was like, "Oh my God, I mean, she's like your biggest fan, And
Damn.
yeah, she
I
watches
can't wait
everything.
to talk about Dismantled. Ah.
Oh, it's so fun! It's so fun.
I
That
love I love it. Jason, have you seen Dismantle? Have you guys seen it yet?
I just got my Quibi thing. They sent me something to go and watch everything. There's so much content on there, but I know we've been meeting with Quibi, and it's an exciting new platform that a lot of people are really, really excited about.
you
Yeah,
should.
just for some backstory, so Dismantled is it's a cooking show. It's a competition cooking show. I love it because it's, within Quibi's 10-minute format, which is fantastic. And it's so exciting. Okay, so first of all, the shakshuka, like I wanted to eat everything. Okay, the judges are so lucky. By the way, when we get out of this shit, can I be a judge, please? Like, please,
Sure,
please,
absolutely,
please.
absolutely,
Like,
absolutely.
I want to be a judge so badly, but like I watched the one with the shakshuka, the sweet potato shepherd's pie, the pesto zoodles. Like I was in it.
That
Jason, you have to see this.
it was so good.
Yeah,
I love this format. It's so people's attention span is very short these days,
like a
and
goldfish.
yeah, and we spend all our time on our phone. I don't know who thought of Quibi, but Jeff Katzenberg and Co.
Mm-hmm.
Hats off, because it's a clever new format, and I like this show because it's like, what is that show that all the goo on Nickelodeon, the green goo would fall
The
down on.
slime, where they throw the slime.
Yeah. It's like that meets, because most
Meets
cooking
Top
shows,
Chef.
meets Top Chef. Most
Yeah.
cooking shows take themselves very seriously, and the stakes are very, very high. And they're turning out the next restaurateur or entrepreneur or the celebrity chef or whatever. And this isn't about any of that. It's just about enjoying the recreation of a dish. And if you come close to doing it, you win $5,000.
And you get to blow shit up.
I tell you what, that is the best therapy. It feels so good.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like you guys, when you watch it, okay, so there's two people that are going up against each other to create a dish. So then they're standing there and the dish itself gets exploded all over them. They're wearing like these hazmat suits with
Oh,
glasses. So then they have to start picking the stuff off of them and the walls and eating it to figure out what the dish is. And then they've got like 30 minutes to
oh.
make the dish.
But do they at
It
least
is
get to wear a cap or something? Because I couldn't even imagine
No,
having
they're
to
wearing like a
shower.
whole hazmat suit and
Oh,
glasses and stuff, but their mouth is exposed and like they get all kinds of chunks blown into their mouth.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so
pretty messy.
fucking awesome. I love it. I love it. And the people have come really close to, what they or figured out exactly what got blown into their face. And they're just picking stuff up off the floor and eating. It's a wild creation of a show. I
That's
really enjoy
crazy.
it.
did
I
you
really
did you
enjoy it.
produce that show concept, or did they approach you about it?
No, they came to me about, well, this was last summer or about this time last year. We had just wrapped the movie for Kimmy, I guess, and they were like, do you want to? Literally, they said, "Do you want to blow stuff up onto people?" And I was like, ah, maybe. And I wasn't trying to be no host, but I'm an actor. Like, so once you start to cross over into, I never want to dilute my main offering or dethrone it by emerging as all of these other things. And I got this little ring light on. Hang on, let me wipe the sweat off. Lord have mercy, it's hot as
I have
fuck.
my ring light on too, and it's just like
No, it
I
is
also got a fan
blazing
behind
over
it.
here. Blazing.
Anyways, they approached me about it, and I was like, I don't know that I even have the skill set to host. But now I'm about to do this other thing with Netflix that they may not have announced, so I better stop there. But it's another hosting thing, but it's a whole different skill set. I don't know how y'all do it. It's too much responsibility. Just give me some lines.
You're good at it. I will say that you're good at it and you're entertaining. As it relates to Dismantled, you're pulling it
Yeah,
off.
but you got the personality. I mean, to be able to do that, and I mean, you don't just act; you also do Broadway. You just have talent, and I just feel like people don't realize, like, especially now with everything going digital, you can really create all types of different things to feed people. Because, like you said, people are on their phones all day long trying to find stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's thank
Well, listen, I appreciate you doing this interview via the internet, which I really am not a fan of this setup we have. But I mean, I don't want to catch the Rona. You don't want to catch the Rona. But
you.
the minute that we are back into full form here and you're in LA, please stop by so we can have a
I
kiki and
would
have
love to. I love
no.
you guys' show. I think you are so clever, so funny, so witty, and all you're so thoughtful. And you asked, I love the way you see the world, and you had such variety. So thank you for having me on.
God, we're
Thank
gonna
you
have to
so
make that a
much.
soundbite because I ain't never heard that put like that.
Well,
Hello.
I think
Now
so.
Hello.
Titus said it, so I don't want to hear nothing else from none of you.
You are a
Yes,
true
Titus, thank you so much.
Of course, of course.
Appreciate you.
All right, well, we'll keep in touch. Thank you so much.
Of course.
What up, YouTube? Thank you for watching this reckless show.
Yeah, and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell.
And also don't forget to share and leave a comment because we are reading.